take advantage of the deal that he found. And then obviously he can't tell Carl and Gear to not kidnap his wife, which they do. And then everything just goes wrong.
Dude, not having cell phones makes you so much more free to do whatever you want with the plot.
That's true, yeah.
So many problems can be solved or prevented with a cell phone call or with a text. And so that's why, like, I'm sure, like, filmmakers like PTA Tarantino, they always write period pieces for that very reason. I guarantee you.
Yeah, you're probably right.
You have so much more freedom and less restrictions without having modern technology.
Because when you watch a modern film and people aren't on their phones all the time, you're like, where are all the phones?
Yeah, why aren't all these 14-year-olds on their phones right now? This doesn't make any sense.
Like, I was thinking that when we watched Ghostbusters Afterlife, when there's like 6 or 7 teenagers in the back of a pickup truck or an El Camino.
No one was taking a selfie.
No one had their phone on. I'm like, that's not realistic.
Yeah, there would be 16 selfie videos being filmed.
Love the movie, but everyone would be Instagramming a story right there.
And then Peter Stormare, he's such an underrated actor. He's so great in these Coen Brothers movies. He played my favorite version of Satan in Constantine.
Yes.
And he's also in John Wick 2 for a little bit. I think he's an awesome actor. I think for being a foreign actor, he's made a pretty successful career in Hollywood. I think he's really funny in this movie.
He has a ton of credits.
Yeah, he reminds me of Anton Chigurh in this, but like a more funny version. And then obviously he's so ridiculous in Big Lebowski, but I think that this character reminds me a lot of Anton, someone who has like a job, but like they just kill just to kill.
In a way, whereas but Anton falsely justifies his actions, whereas Gear just kind of is an impulsive person, like where he kills Carl at the end because he just can't stand his talking anymore. He's like, I'm done. Even though he walks out the door, he gets even more cash from Carl. He kills the hell out of him with an axe, just cuz.
Same thing with Miss Lundegaard.
Yeah,
she said she was shrieking.
Oh yeah,
she was shrieking.
Not that it's funny. It's funny.
It's supposed to be funny. It's okay to laugh at it.
I don't want to get a 1-star review.
We're not. Everyone laughs at it.
Sorry, I'm just trying to always be so careful. I'm gonna get canceled for saying we laughed at a movie.
You're gonna get axed. Someone's gonna show up at our doorstep and murder us.
For real. Anyways.
There are 2 collaborators of the Coens that have always been with them, mostly. Carter Burwell, the composer, who's done nearly every one of their films. Excellent composer. And he always brings so much to their films. And then, obviously, Roger Deakins. Roger Deakins didn't film the first few of their films, but Fargo was one of the early ones that he did film. And he really shows, like, he has so much talent. And there's some really terrific imagery that sets this movie apart from other dark comedies. This movie is perfectly shot.
Yes, the cinematography is beautiful. I think one of my favorite shots in film history in general is the parking lot.
It's a very famous shot, and there's very few DPs that would ever come up with shots like that. You know, so many other filmmakers would film that in a very simple way, but he's like, no, let's throw the camera way back there and just get the entire parking lot. And I love the sense of how they captured snow. We're from Boston, so we know what snow is like, and oftentimes snow in movies looks super fake. Always never seems realistic, and snow hardens, you know, and it's hard to walk through. It's not just powder that you can just like kick around, you know. Once it freezes, it's just solid. And so I think they did a great job of capturing snow.
That crunch under the boots.
Yeah, like and then when Carl falls into the snow when his face is blown open, like stuff like that, it's realistic and it makes it feel even more authentic because it feels like every time I see snow in a movie, I'm like, that looks so fake. It's not real.
Yeah, but also you notice that it never actually is snowing in Fargo, even though it's snow everywhere, which is common. I mean, it'll snow in the wintertime if you're in a cold environment, in a cold climate, in region of the country or in the world. And it doesn't melt because it's so cold, so it'll just be there for months, you know, and then it'll get accumulated.
It just builds on top of each other.
More and more snow. Sometimes it melts on a sunny day, even though it's cold, but still, there's always just going to be snow around, which in movies, they always make it seem like we have to see the snow falling in order for people to realize that there's snow. There's always snow in New England the entire wintertime.
And also, they filmed this, it was unusually warm that year in the areas where they filmed, and they actually couldn't film it all in Minnesota and North Dakota. Minnesota. They had to go to other states because it was so warm there. And I think they really did a great job of capturing the freezing cold weather. When I watch this movie, I feel cold when I watch it. You know what I mean? I think they really captured it really well with the performances. Seeing the breath, you know, with getting like the character stuck in the snow, it felt so real.
It goes with the characters too and their mess ups. Like I think with Carl Gear and Jerry's wife, when they're in that cabin in the cold, you really feel like you're cold watching it, especially the shot where the breath coming out of the bag over her head.
Yeah.
It's great.
That's
it's a
the
great
best shot in the movie.
It's a
Best
really
shot
good
in the
shot, and you just feel like everything, they're in over their heads and everything's going wrong, and the cold is just making everything even worse for them.
That's something that like Roger Deakins manages to always capture, like these little moments, and he'll be like, "I'm just gonna hold the camera on this for a minute," where no other filmmaker would really hold the camera on, the breath coming out of the mask. But he's someone who's like, I'm gonna keep that. We're gonna hold on to it for like 10 seconds, and it's really beautiful.
It shows that they actually really shot in a cold environment.
Exactly.
Like, you can't really replicate. You can't do that digitally in an effective way.
Even nowadays,
obviously,
it still doesn't feel real. You know what I mean?
I've seen there are some movies where they fake it with CGI. It's okay, but it's not
It's
real.
not the same. The breaths always look the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I feel that for sure. You want to move on to? You want to talk some more about Lebowski?
Do you want to get into our intermission first?
Oh yeah, let's do intermission.
Yeah,
I forgot.
let's do our
All right, let's dive into our intermission, everybody.
Then we
So-
get to the dude.
Then we talk about the dude because he abides. Let's start with our movie quote competition. This one's for me. You don't listen, do you? I don't think you ever really hear me. You just ask the same questions every week. How's your job? Are you having any negative thoughts? All I have are negative thoughts.
Oh, I know this. I'll give everyone a second.
Joker. Joker.
Great one. Great movie. Okay, I have a quote. You're a very nosy fellow, kitty cat, huh? You know what happens to nosy fellows, huh? No? Wanna guess? Huh? No, okay. They lose their noses.
Say that again.
You're a very nosy fellow, kitty cat, huh? You know what happens to nosy fellows, huh? Wanna guess? No? Okay. They lose their noses.
I don't know.
Chinatown.
Oh. Man. JJ Gitz.
Yep. That's when he gets his nose cut.
Yeah. That's a great special effects shot, too.
It's fantastic.
Really good practical effects.
It's so good. It seems like he really got his nose cut off.
That makes me cringe every time I watch it. All right, guess this movie release year. Tron.
The original?
The original Tron. Tron.
Oh, man. I'm going to go with... It's the 80s. I'm going to go with 1982.
Yeah.
Yes! Oh, my God.
Straight guess. You were like sulking into the microphone.
I almost said it. I thought it was 81, but I just, for some reason, I think I twin telepathied you.
Maybe.
I think so.
All right, your turn.
Jack Nicholson's movie, 5 Easy Pieces, which he was nominated for an Oscar for.
1978.
70. It's an
Wow,
oldie.
It's that old.
It's an
Holy
oldie.
crap.
Yeah.
All right.
It's pretty young in it.
Movie pop quiz time.
Let's go.
How many Oscars has Frances McDormand won? And what are the films she has won for?
Easy peasy. This is Child's Play. Fargo. She's won 3. Fargo. 3 Billboards. And then Nomadland.
3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Yep.
Yeah, you got the second part right. The first part you got wrong. She has 4 Oscars.
Wait, she has 4 Oscars?
She has a producing Oscar credit for Nomadland.
Oh my God.
Trick question. Gotcha. I knew I'd get you with that.
Damn
You're
it.
so cocky going into that. Oh, this is Child's Play. Oh, you're a fucking idiot, Jim.
I never said that.
Sorry.
I never said that. I love how you take that as me insulting you.
All right, your turn.
You're a fucking idiot, Jim. That was a good trick question.
I got you,
You
man.
worded it. I was just thinking straight up acting.
I've been waiting to pull it out. I was
Look at that smile on
I'm
your
gonna
face.
get you this
You're
time.
so happy.
I'm gonna crack open a new LaCroix because I'm so happy.
Let's hear that crack.
Oh, yeah.
How happy would you be if we got LaCroix as a sponsor?
Dude, I'd be ecstatic.
This kid, I swear to God.
Tell the story.
All he drinks is LaCroix.
No, tell the story.
Okay, the other day, we were going to the grocery store.
This is when we got back from our flight
Yeah,
from being in Boston.
Going to the grocery store, I'm driving, and then all of a sudden I hear, and I turn over, I look over, Jim's drinking a LaCroix. He brought it, it was in my cup holder.
I was driving.
You were driving, yeah.
It was like 5 minutes into the
Oh my
ride.
God.
We're on the highway. He just hears.
I've seen the LaCroix in my car too. 2 weeks ago, I went in my car. There's an empty LaCroix in the cup holder.
Bro, I love LaCroix. I love him.
He drinks it like it's a drug
every day, man. It's so good.
When we were away, you drank so many soda waters because you didn't have any. Every chance you got, every time I looked at him during Thanksgiving, he had a soda water in his hand.
So addicted to soda water. So addicted to it.
Oh man. Anyways.
All right, who's our hater of the week?
I'm not. I gotta do my quiz.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Jeez, man.
Sorry, man.
Okay. What famous movie director starred in Chinatown? Tough one. I thought you would get this. Do you want a hint?
Sure.
He ended up becoming Jack Nicholson's stepfather.
Jack
Oh, you don't know who Jack married?
I can't remember. Yeah, you got me.
John Huston.
Oh, crap.
Yeah. Angelica Houston's daughter.
That's right. That's right. He married Angelica Houston. They got divorced eventually, right?
Yeah, but they were married for like 30 years.
For a while.
Yeah, they have a couple of kids.
Yeah. Angelica's great. Got her on a poster right here.
Yeah, she's right there.
Real Tenenbaums.
Yeah, John Huston, he was a great director, and he was also a pretty successful actor. So he had a great career. And Daniel Day-Lewis even based some of his accent in There Will Be Blood off of John Huston.
That's cool. Jack actually wanted to be a director, but someone convinced him to be an actor.
And they ended up becoming one of the best ever.
Probably the best ever. All right, who's our hater of the week? Got any real ones?
No, I have an unsubscriber.
Got a couple unsubscribes? Love to hear them.
I can't wait to tell you.
Here we go. The anticipation. I'm just going to keep sipping my LaCroix.
Okay. I posted a Interstellar clip. And Hunter Melendez wrote, "The nerve they must have to think they don't understand Interstellar's complexity enough to have a Q&A on it. Unsubscribe," referring to our Patreon Q&A.
So biggest supporter of this episode is Kadarius Cook, our friend on Instagram and TikTok. He made us these amazing shirts that have our logo, Raiders of Lost Podcast, embroidered beautifully on there. We'll show an image on the YouTube version right now. So Kadarius, thank you so much for these shirts. You can check out his apparel at nirvanascreation.com.
Also, his Instagram and TikTok handles are KadariusKD. He's an amazing guy. He does really talented embroidery work. Thanks so much, pal.
And so we also have a couple 5-star reviews.
Ooh.
2 of them I'll read off. So great commentary. This is from Say It Ain't Lewis. These guys are great. Love their commentary and takes. Lots of fun. Thanks, Lewis. And then from Lil Mangoozy, wow, unsubscribed. One of my absolute favorite podcasts, definitely the only film podcast I've found that I genuinely listen to, all narrated by fun film geniuses. Well, I like that word. Would love to see an episode talking about Stranger Things. Love you guys. Keep up the good work. We're actually going to do Stranger Things as soon as that season. Well, maybe we'll do like
before season 4.
We'll do seasons 1 through 3 soon.
Yeah.
That'd be actually a lot of fun because we actually really like Stranger Things. It's a great show. On this day in film history, today is Thursday, December 2nd. In 1988, The Naked Gun was released. In 2013, The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug premiered. In 2016, Jackie was released. And happy birthday to Lucy Liu.
I have a real hater. I found him.
You found a real hater?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay, I posted, this guy's a fucking D-bag. Oh my god. I posted a clip on Jurassic Park. So the water cups with the ripples in the water, the way they made that effect happen was naturally they fixed a guitar string, an acoustic guitar string underneath the dashboard of the car, right below the cups. And then they flicked the guitar string, and that created natural ripples in the water to make it look like it was a T-Rex stomping. And so really cool practical effects. So that's what the clip was about. And then Nice Combo 6 wrote, "This podcast is just the Wikipedia article, ... And I wrote, "Our podcast is actually 90 minutes of film analysis, and this is just our TikTok page." And then he replied, "I've seen it. This was the highlight, ... And I just didn't respond. I was like, what a douchebag. Are you kidding me, man?
I wouldn't even respond if I was you.
Yeah, well,
I don't respond to people who say stuff like that because who cares?
like, dude, get a life.
He's just living in his mom's basement, just eating Hot Pockets and licorice. And
What are you even doing watching our videos, bro?
haters gonna hate, ain'ters gonna ain't.
He wants that peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
All right, my stream recommendation for this episode is the Office Christmas episodes. So obviously The Office is on Peacock. 4 specifically that I choose as my favorites because I think there's 7 or 8 total.
So these are your top 4.
Top 4 Office Christmas episodes. In no order. So we got Christmas Party, which is season 2, episode 10. That also has the Yankee Swap inside of it. Secret Santa, season 6, episode 13. Really great one. And we also have Moroccan Christmas, season 5, episode 11. And then Benihana Christmas, season 3, episode 10 and 11. And that's a great one as well.
Is that your favorite episode?
Benihana Christmas?
Yeah.
No, like probably Dinner Party. Or,
Dinner Party.
There's like a handful more that I put above Benihana Christmas. Benihana Christmas is great. But we're actually going to do an Office episode pretty soon. And
do you all want an Office episode?
They definitely want it.
We're thinking
Whether
about
they want it or not, or know that they want it, it's happening. And they're just going to
get delivered.
They're going to have to accept it. All right.
They're going to have to deal with it.
What's your What's your streaming recommendation?
I picked The Constant Gardener on Amazon Prime. It just got put on the platform. It's a really great drama. Stars Ralph Fiennes and Rachel Weisz. She won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress in this movie. Really fantastic film. I highly recommend it. Now, before we move on to the dude, I gotta tell you all about movieposters.com, the #1 place to get your posters online today. Head on over to movieposters.com and use our special promo code Raiders10 to get 10% off your order today. The holidays are coming. There's no better present to get the film lover in your life than a movie poster of their favorite film. Movieposters.com has all sorts of sizes, framing, backlighting, whatever your poster needs are, they can handle it. They have pretty much every film and TV show imaginable at their arsenal. Head on over to movieposters.com, use our promo code Raiders10 and get 10% off your order today. And our other amazing sponsor, Arc Studio Pro, is the most efficient, streamlined, and elegant screenwriting software on the market. They have teamed up with us to offer a very special discount, $30 off their membership. If you follow the link, arcstudiopro.com/Raiders. Again, arcstudiopro.com/Raiders. Arc Studio Pro is the best screenwriting software I have ever used. They have all sorts of really cool perks like this plot board, which allows you to easily organize your plot points with this basically like a digital flashcard drag and drop system. Super helpful with organizing. They also have all sorts of apps for your desktop or phone, online collaboration with co-writers, super helpful outlining tools, revisionist management, and even links to feedback so people can give you feedback on your writing. Now, all you gotta do is head on over to arcstudiopro.com/Raiders to get $30 off to start writing today.
All right, we've been talking a lot about Fargo. Let's dive into some Big Lebowski. We'll bounce back and forth, obviously, because there's still some more stuff.
I love bouncing back and forth.
There's some other stuff I want to talk about with Fargo, but, let's talk about the
People
dude.
want the dude.
Let's talk about him. We've been saving him. So the dude, played by Jeff Bridges, probably his best role. The dude's the man. He fits right in where he is. I love the character. He's just the laziest person alive. He writes checks for 69 cents at the grocery store to get cream or milk for his White Russians, which he drinks constantly. I love that scene so much. He's just in the grocery store drinking the milk and smelling it, and then writing a check for 69 cents.
And he's got cream on his mustache.
He's completely incompetent, but you can't help but root for the dude the entire film. He's this completely broke stoner, drinks these White Russians, smokes bowls. It's kind of ridiculous, and he's like the ultimate underdog too, where, like I said, this hero's journey that he's on it's so ridiculous, it's daunting, but we love to just watch him, like, as he progresses from being the laziest stoner alive to kind of like a little bit of a detective towards the end.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Kind of.
Well, I would say
a little bit.
The dude doesn't change at all. He's a static character. He doesn't change in any way.
But he gets more kind of intrigued or interested in the plot.
Yeah, but the thing with the dude is, I think that this is the Coen's interpretation of the idiot, which follows a character who is oblivious to the world around him, who finds himself caught in these crazy circumstances and these plots of other characters, and he's kind of a fool, and he's just very slow. I think this is the Coen brothers' interpretation of that character, of someone who shouldn't be in these situations but is. He doesn't really even drive the story forward, wanting it to go forward, but just things happen to him. And the world around him changes, but Lebowski doesn't change. The dude just stays the same, man.
Yeah, you could say you're right. At the end of the film, he's like basically the same person.
Still a dude.
Despite all the experiences he just had, despite Donnie dying and everything that's happened to him, impregnating a woman probably is just he's just the dude now still.
Because that's what the dude's entire persona is, and that's how he lives his life of, just he's the dude.
I'm the dude.
No matter what happens.
Duderino, your dudeness.
No matter what happens around him, no matter how the world changes, he just is going to sit back and keep coasting regardless. No matter how crazy the story gets, he's still just going to, sit back in his chair, relax, and put his sunglasses on and drink a White Russian.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea of the character.
I think critics are just so blind to how good this movie actually is.
It's so funny.
There's so much attention to detail to the acting, the writing. Every time I watch it, I always find something new. I feel like
I bet critics, they didn't understand the character.
They didn't understand the movie.
Yeah, the whole point of the dude.
It's like Burn After Reading. That's one of the Coen Brothers movies that it's kind of hard to get your first time. For some people, I love that movie. That movie's hysterical. I think it's very funny, very good, really great script.
Osborne.
But like versus Fargo is like a clear cut. You know what the movie's about, but Big Lebowski, maybe not everyone gets it their first time.
They don't get the humor, I think, at first. I think it's, for me, Lebowski gets better on repeat viewings.
Yeah, I think also people are put off by like the stuff like the dream sequences. Maybe they're like, what is the point of this whole thing? Why are we doing this and everything? I actually don't understand. I also think that maybe people just don't like the character of the dude.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't like those kinds of people in real life, despite it having no effect on their lives. And they're like, why do I have to watch a whole movie about this guy just drinking White Russians and chilling in a bathrobe? But I love every second of it.
I just the creation of the character. And Jeff Bridges, he will go down mostly remembered for this. Because he perfectly embodied the character. And I read that when he met with the Coens, he's like, did you guys grow up with me? Because this is what I was like when I was in high school. He's like, did you guys know me? And he even used a lot of his own clothes for the film. So a lot of the dude's clothes are Jeff Bridges' clothes that he brought for the movie.
That's so funny.
Like one of the bathrobes, a lot of the t-shirts and shorts.
I think the sandals too, like those
sandals,
clear like Jesus sandals.
They're called jewels.
Yeah.
They're pretty big sandals back then. They're a big fashion trend, and he was always wearing them on his own. And then he was like, "Hey, the dude should wear these sandals. It's something the dude would wear."
Yeah, but the whole movie is a parody. It's a parody on these same tropes, these same characters, kidnapping movies. And I think my favorite example of this movie being a parody is like about like halfway, 3/4 through the film. He's having that drink at that guy's house, and he's trying to like figure out what's going on with the kidnapping and everything. He's trying to find the money. He's in deep shit. He's in over his head. And the guy takes a call and writes on the notepad, and then he leaves the room. Then the dude gets up real quick. He takes a pencil, and we're watching. He's like, "Oh, he's gonna scratch out what's on the pad, and we're gonna see what the guy wrote. It's gonna be amazing." And it's just a stick figure with a huge erection. It's just like that's what the whole movie is. That's the whole movie. That's it. It's a giant parody joke.
Yeah, and same thing with when they go to Larry's house and he destroys the car. This is what happens when you F a stranger in the ass. This is what happens, Larry.
You're gonna want to look out the window, Larry.
When Walter just messes that car up, and it's the neighbor's car. Yeah. It's so funny. Oh, is Larry the same kid from Fargo, Jerry's son? I think it is.
Maybe.
I think it could be, because this movie was only made 2 years after.
Kind of looks like him.
After Fargo, I think it is the same kid. Because it's funny because Larry doesn't even say a word.
Yeah.
It's so amazing. But like, the story gets so ridiculous and complex and complicated. I just really love like the interweave, like how wild the plot gets, and all the zany characters. You got Julianne Moore as Maud, and then you have Peter Stormare again as the nihilist.
Nihilist one.
Was it Hungus? Or
yeah, I think it's Hungus.
Carl Hungus. Yeah, Carl Hungus.
Victor Hungus.
No, it's Carl. And then you got Philip Seymour Hoffman as Brett, and then the Big Lebowski. He's funny in this, and just the cast of characters are so great. Jesus, John Turturro, and I think this is when the Coen brothers really understood like the power of wardrobe, because they're famous wardrobe in this movie. You got John Turturro's character, the purple jumpsuit as Jesus, and then Walter's, he's always got the vest and the cargo shorts and combat boots,
the yellow
his sunglasses, and then the dude's always in the bathrobe or something very relaxed like that. And I think that these are all like these are Halloween costumes, you know what I mean? And so I think the Coen brothers, when you make a cult classic like this and you have great wardrobe, that really resonates with people. Like, people dress up as these characters for Halloween. And it's not a scary movie, it's not a fantastical movie, but it's a loved movie.
Yeah, in both films, Fargo and Lebowski have these kidnapping plots. Obviously, in Fargo, there's actually a real kidnapping. There are murders, and Jerry's wife eventually gets murdered as well. So there's an actual real kidnapping set up by Jerry that goes completely wrong. And Jerry, obviously, at the end of the film, gets caught after hiding out for who knows how long. Whereas in the Big Lebowski
I'm sorry, I love Jerry's arrest scene.
Oh, Jerry's
like
super
crying.
Funny, yeah.
They pull him out of the way. He's like, no, no.
So then the kidnapping in Lebowski is the supposedly rich Lebowski hires the dude to be a courier because his trophy wife Bunny has been kidnapped, and he needs her to get her back with the $1 million in the briefcase.
And they suspect that it's the two guys that broke into the dude's apartment earlier.
And peed on his carpet because it really tied the room together. But really, they just wanted some doofus, some throwaway guy to be the person in this position to do it.
Isn't this guy supposed to be like a millionaire?
And then we're not morons.
you're not the only. No, they didn't say you're not the only moron here.
But the irony of it is there was no kidnapping. The Big Lebowski, the rich one, isn't rich. It's really Maude and her mother's money. He has no part of the family expenses and finances. The kidnapping was fake so that he could get money. It's similar to Jerry, whereas the kidnapping was real. And the irony in Fargo is even though Carl hides all the cash in the snow, no one ever gets it. Some probably random driver in the spring probably drives by and gets all that money. So ironically, no one gets money in either film because...
It's Llewellyn Moss.
Yeah, Llewellyn Moss got the case. That's what's so great. The movies are full of characters who are greedy as hell. No one gets any money.
Yeah, I love it. And they're all kind of like anti-heroes. There's like no one in this film that you can really like feel like, oh, they're a great person.
Donnie, you could say, is like the only...
Donnie, okay, yeah.
Or Donnie, but you just have nothing but pity for him.
Shut the F up, Donnie.
Because Donnie's always like 2 steps back in the conversation. He was like, oh, wait, what?
Mark it down, dude. What's funny is you actually don't see the dude bowl.
Yeah.
It's always Donnie and Walter.
The whole movie.
The only time you actually see him, like you could say he's bowling is in the dance sequence. But it's not technically.
No. Yeah. Well, Maude's the one who bowls it.
Yeah, exactly. He's like helping her bowl.
Yeah.
That's the only time you ever actually see the dude bowl in a bowling alley.
Another example of great irony in the film.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
But we actually, James and I, we grew up bowling.
Oh yeah, dude.
And we had our own bowling balls.
But it wasn't 10-pin like in this movie.
Okay,
so in New England and in Canada, they do have the big ball 10-pin bowling with you throw 2 balls and you have the big fat pin, the huge ball.
The balls with the holes in them.
That's called 10-pin bowling. That's the most common around America. But in New England, we also have candle pin bowling. It's also in Canada. I think maybe in the Midwest too, where the balls are much smaller. They're about the size of a softball. The pins are much thinner. They're like the size of this ball.
They're very skinny. And they're tall.
And they're tall. And so you get 3 bowls instead of 2.
3 throws.
3 throws per box. So it's different. That's
because it's harder to knock them all down.
Yeah, it's much harder. It's way easier to throw that big fat ball. And it's a lot more fun. But I love candlepin bowling.
Yeah, so that's something we grew up with. And
that's why I love this movie.
It's ironic we never watched it. Our brothers, I don't think were ever really into Big Lebowski. And so I actually didn't get into Big Lebowski until I was an adult.
Yeah, we grew up in bowling alleys. Yeah. Like we bowled every weekend.
I feel like we would have really loved this movie as kids.
Yeah.
It's something we'd never watched. Ironically, we didn't watch this a lot growing up.
Yeah.
But I think and I honestly was pretty late to Lebowski.
I was too.
I was a
teenager.
Knowing it so well now, I'm like, I can't believe I never watched this movie until like I was like 20.
Because that's what I mean. Like Fargo's famous, but Lebowski's more of a cult movie.
Definitely. It's a cult classic.
Yeah.
It's so crazy how big it is because the character of the dude in Lebowski, just the Big Lebowski, the movie, it's so loved. There's a annual festival where people dress up as the dude, and it's a big concert, and the dude has his own dates. It's March 6th. It's called the Day of the Dude. And Jeff Bridges even plays that. He's even played music at some of the concerts.
Yeah, he's a great musician.
And
if anyone's seen Crazy Heart.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so according to the Dude's paper, which is the official Dude newspaper, the official publication. So the Day of the Dude is celebrated, and there's also a dude religion called Dudism, and people who are part of this religion call themselves Dudists. And on March 6th every year, they have white Russians watch Lebowski and then go bowling. And then also, so Dudism was founded in 2005 by an American journalist. And the official name of this church is the Church of the Latter-day Dude. And despite its name, the comedic origin, occasional criticism of the religion, Dudism isn't regarded as a parody, but as a real religion. And they basically, it's like a state of mind of kind of like Taoism, of Buddhism-esque. So it's like it borrows, like, they actually do practice it, but they borrows from other religions. And they basically like think like, oh, this is like how the dude lives his life, so it must be like kind of like that religion.
He just smokes J's and chills in the tub.
Yeah, drinks white Russians.
But that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And the dude is obviously such an iconic character. People haven't even seen the Big Lebowski. They know the dude. They know who the dude is. They can picture it in their head. They've seen photos of him all over the place for over the years. You know, posters and everything.
And the term dude wasn't really that big until the 90s. It was the term dude has gone through different meanings. It originated in the UK, and it began cropping up in popular culture.
Did it mean the same thing in the UK?
Yeah. No. It started out as something different. It meant skirt in Scottish. It was the name for it was like dudis or some dudist, and that meant like a man's skirt. And then it just evolved into what we know it is today. But in popular culture, it was still growing in the 80s. In the 80s, it really took off, especially with I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of this movie with Bill and Ted. Obviously, they say dude all the time.
You forgot the name of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. The way you said it was like a foreign film. Like, I can't remember the name. I can't remember the name of this film on the IFC channel, on the Criterion channel. Oh, what was it called? Excellent.
I hold that as high regard as as foreign films. It's a great movie. But so the term dude was getting popularized in the 80s, and I think with this movie, really solidified dude as being a commonplace term. And now, like, we grew up saying dude constantly.
I always assumed that dude was super common at the time. But yeah, I mean, you could probably say this helped it out a lot.
Yeah.
And the dude, obviously, great character. But I also love Walter.
Walter's amazing.
John Goodman's so good in this movie. This guy can do anything. It's so funny when you watch it and you also realize that he's Sully in Monsters, Inc. Because this character's insane. He's wildly funny. He's obsessed with his tour in Vietnam. He's a Vietnam War vet. He relates every situation, every conversation to Vietnam and the lives that were lost in Vietnam. He's overly confident. He gets them all into more and more trouble. And, like, every dilemma that he inserts himself into in the dude's life,
amateurs,
he approaches it like he's, like, the ultimate warrior, the ultimate soldier, despite the fact that he has, like, no skills, really, or maybe at the end of the film you could say he proves himself, but, like, he's never successful at what he's trying to do.
Fucking amateurs. He keeps saying, he's like laughing to himself. He's like, fucking amateurs.
Bunch of amateurs. He just ruins everything. Ruins everything.
So, and I love when he, before the drop off, when the dude goes to pick him up, and then he goes into the driver's seat. He's like, where you go? He's like, I got this dude. He's like, give him the ringer. It's my sticky undies.
But it's ironic. He throws a ringer to what we find out is a ringer.
Yeah.
So there's never any money. So there's so much irony in this film. It's so fun.
Yeah, and I love the costume. He's always wearing his dog tags. But when Walter pulls out the gun on Smokey, when Smokey crosses the line, because
when he's bowling.
Oh my God, that's such a crazy scene. It's so funny. It's unbelievable. And then the cops show up in the background when him and Walter are talking in the car. It's so ridiculous. It's such a great moment for the character.
And I love the bowling alley because obviously we love bowling alleys. Bowling's one of my favorite things to do in the world. But also, it's like the second storyline of the film is the bowling tournament that's happening at the time. And it has nothing to do with the plot of the movie, of the kidnapping or anything, but it's constantly cross-cut and both sequences and timelines are going on together. And even though Jesus, that character, has nothing to do with the plot, really, and even though Turturro is so funny in it, that's what the Coen brothers do. They have these characters, you could say, that don't really add to the plot. Same thing with Mike Yaganita. Doesn't need to be in the movie, you could say, even though there's a reason for him to be there, but it helps build the world, it helps build the characters, it helps just create the tone of the film and adds so much to the soul of the film, you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it seems like it's the perfect hobby for the dude. It's like the most relaxed sport, even more relaxed than golf.
And you don't have to be an athlete to bowl and be a great bowler.
Anyone can be a good bowler. You don't need to be in shape, and you spend most of your time sitting down, you know? So it's just like a perfect thing for the dude to be obsessed with. It's like, even when he's at home, he's listening to tapes of bowling, like just the sound effects of
like
bowling.
The playoffs.
Yeah, it's just great. It's just perfect for the dude. It's like obviously, and I read that the backstory for the dude is that he is an heir to the person who created the Rubik's Cube. And so he received inheritance from that person who died, and now he's run out of the money. So that's why he's never had a job. He never had to work.
Pretty funny. There's so many other great characters. So the Big Lebowski, played by David Hulliston, really great character, very funny. And then his assistant Brand, played by Philip Seymour Hoffman. The Hop is so good in this movie. I feel like he steals every scene he's in. He's perfect as like this weaselly, uppity guy who like thinks that his boss and employer is this very wealthy, important man, when really it's the exact opposite, where the Big Lebowski really doesn't have anything to his own name. It's really all of his ex-wife's money. It's really all of his daughter's money. Maud, who has maybe the funniest film interest I've ever seen.
It's the best entrance ever.
It's so great because Lebowski shows up at her big apartment. It's like empty. There's weird noises and like breathing going on. And then all of a sudden she comes flying like in the shadows, like she looks like she's gonna stab him, but she's just painting, and people are flinging her across the ceiling.
Yeah, it's so funny
because it's a parody of pretentious artists.
Yeah,
it's like she's flying on a ceiling with ropes to paint.
It's based on a real artist.
Is it really?
A real woman did that, and she was like a famous painter in New York. So it's based on a real thing. Julianne Moore is so great as Maud. Her accent, the way she talks, it's perfect. The snobby, yuppie, rich.
Does the female form make you uncomfortable?
Vagina.
Does the word vagina make you feel uncomfortable? Vagina?
Oh, God. She's really great in this movie. It's one of my favorite roles of hers. And you can see, when I watch Coen Brothers movies, you can see a lot of early Paul Thomas Anderson tone.
Yeah.
And that's why I think that PTA has always been a massive fan of the Coens, which is why he's even cast some of their usual actors, like William H. Macy a few times in The Hoff, and then Julianne Moore a couple of times. So I think that I feel definitely there's like a kinship between PTA's early movies and the Coen Brothers dark comedies.
I completely like Boogie Nights feels very tonally similar to like Lebowski.
Definitely.
You know
and
what I mean?
Punch Drunk Love.
Yeah.
And Heart 8 as well, like Fargo.
I could see that for sure.
Definitely. And then Peter Stormare as Nihilist #1. That's literally his character name. But also Carl Hungus is like in the porno. The porno's so funny.
The cable's out. Oh, what's he gonna do? You can only imagine what happens next. He fixes the cable.
It's so funny. I love the cast of characters in this movie.
Tara Reid is Bunny.
Before she blew up.
Was this like
98? So
post American Pie?
This is when #1 came out.
Yeah,
#1 came out in 98, I believe.
Yeah.
Or maybe even earlier. It could have been earlier.
American Pie #1. Let me look it up real quick.
It might have been 98.
I'm curious.
I guess. But she was a huge star for like 5 straight years. She was big time.
1999 American Pie.
99, okay. No, I was wrong. I was wrong.
I mean, you're right that it was
I mean,
later.
I was right.
That it was later.
Okay, yeah. Yes, I did say that.
Yeah, but she's solid as Bunny in this. Perfect.
I love how she ended up she just went on vacation with her friends.
And the nihilist cut off their girlfriend's toe. They thought they were going to get money.
Again, another problem solved by cell phones.
Ironically, there was never any money again.
Mm-hmm. And I love the Jesus character. Did you know John Turturro made a Jesus movie?
Of this character?
Yeah, last year.
I had no idea.
I mean, this year it came out. It came out on VOD.
I gotta look that up.
He made a film. I can't remember what it's called, but it's the character 30 years later. And he's
still bowling?
I think so, yeah. But he's not like as ridiculous. I think they made it a more nuanced approach. But although I'm not sure that it could work because he's a pedophile.
Yeah, it's true.
So I don't think that it could. I don't think it was a good idea to make it.
The Jesus Rolls.
The Jesus Rolls, yes. You didn't see trailers for it?
20% on Rotten Tomatoes. Came out February 2020.
Yeah. Okay, last year it came out.
Wow, it has a pretty good cast. Like,
yeah, it's got. Who's the lead actress in it? It's his romantic interest.
Audrey Tautou from Emily.
Tattoo. Yeah.
Tattoo. And then Susan Sarandon, John Hamm, Pete Davidson, Christopher Walken. Wow, he must have a lot of friends for sure.
Well, yeah, it's John Turturro. He's a great guy.
Super cool.
But I just think it was a bad idea to make a movie about a pedophile.
Yeah, you can't do that because the character's hysterical, but when you learn he's a pedophile, you're like, Jesus.
It's a pederast.
Jesus.
8-year-olds.
Exactly.
8-year-olds, dude.
And you never forget it.
But that scene, the flashback, because the Coen Brothers rarely do something like flashbacks, but it works because it's a really funny joke of seeing Jesus walk through neighborhoods, having to tell his neighbors that he's a convicted sex offender.
And they let you use your imagination as to what happens when he opens the door.
Exactly. It's so funny. So what is White Russian's vodka, milk, and Kahlua? All right. Did you have to make those a ton?
As a bartender? No, drinks like that's not like a common drink, really. Yeah. Maybe it was a fad drink in the '90s, but I don't think I've ever made a White Russian that someone asked for. Kahlua people ask for sometimes, but it's not a common drink that people have. I think that's more of like a home drink to make, because can you really trust milk at like a bar?
No way. Because James and I used to both work in restaurants, and whenever someone would order something with cream, and every once in a while people would order a White Russian, and I'd be like, you really want restaurant cream? And it's like, come on.
Well, I'm sure most restaurants, if they have to put cream in a drink, they're using the little, like the coffee mate ones that they get for
We never
coffee.
did in any of the restaurants I did. They were always like old cartons that were sitting in the walk-in fridge.
But yeah, man, you can't trust the milk and cream that's in restaurants, especially when alcohol is involved, because it masks if it's rotten or if it's gone bad.
Yeah, but I love the idea of the White Russian with the dude. He drinks so many of them. He's like in the limo, he's drinking it, and then he gets pulled
into... Watch a dude, I got a drink.
He pulls it into the other limo.
That's so funny. He gets kidnapped out of a limo into another limo.
It's so great. And then when he gets to Mod's loft, he's like, do you have any Kahlua? It's like everywhere he goes, he needs to drink a White Russian.
And
it's amazing.
Kahlua is not like common to have at home. Like I've had like a Kahlua kick before. Like I was like, the Kahlua is bomb. With some milk, it's like a chocolate milk drink. You know, it's delicious. But like, I don't know many people that just have Kahlua on hand.
Yeah, it's great.
If they even have a bar set up at their house.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
But it's just a funny character trait for the dude, for sure.
Well, also Jeff Bridges, he actually imbues a really great performance. It's really great behavior of the dude. It's something that he does a bunch of times is like when he's in a situation where he's losing an argument and he just gives up, because that's the dude. He just he doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want to keep fighting. He'll just like, you know what, screw you. And what he does is he puts sunglasses on. You'll see that he does it when he's arguing with the Big Lebowski, where he's talking to the police officers, and a couple other times where, you know, when he's losing the conversation, he just, you know what, screw this, put my sunglasses on, you have my minimal attention now, and I'm going to sit back in this chair, and that's it. He does that a lot, and that's a really great behavioral tick that Jeff Bridges imbued in the character.
Yeah, I think that alludes to what the stranger's talking about, especially at the end of the film and the first time we meet him, you know, where I take pride knowing that like someone like that's out there taking it easy for all of us sinners out there. Sam Elliott's amazing voice.
He's got the best voice ever.
He's got the best voice and like best hair, like the thickest hair and thickest facial hair I've ever seen in my life.
I'm jealous of that guy's hair.
Man, that guy's got a mop on his head still, but that guy's voice is amazing.
Yeah.
It's such a great choice for the stranger, who obviously you can interpret as being God.
Is that how you interpret him?
Yeah, that's how I interpret him.
I interpret him as the Coens, as the storytellers.
Oh, that's pretty good.
As the ones telling the story.
But how come he brings up the cussing?
Because I guess because that is the only way to tell the story.
Yeah, I think it's more of like
it could be God.
A metaphor of Jesus or God.
Yeah. I like to think of it as he's the storyteller.
Because I sometimes look at the dude and I see like maybe that's an interpretation of Jesus in a way.
The dude is Jesus?
Yeah, I mean, even the character design is similar to Jesus. You know, he's got the long hair, the beard, he's got a cloak, he's got
the sandals.
He's got the sandals. That's what I mean. So like I always see it as an interpretation of Jesus in a way.
Who's Judas?
Who's Judas in the movie?
Well, Maud is Mary Magdalene.
Yeah. Come on, Jesus and Mary Mags were just friends, Anthony.
Yeah, just friends.
They were just friends.
Just friends.
This is blasphemy. What you're insinuating that they were more than buds. They were just best buds. He helped her get through some tough times.
Then the Big Lebowski is Judas, the betrayer.
The Big Lebowski, yeah, you could say that.
Because he set him up to
fail.
The scheme.
Yeah, you say it. But Judas was a friend of Jesus. If you want to get into Catholicism,
let's get into Catholicism.
He was a disciple.
Yeah,
Big Lebowski was a disciple.
I'm just saying.
I know.
Well, you're saying the dude is Jesus.
But you said he betrays him. He barely betrays him.
Yeah, he does.